In the vast wilderness, mountain peaks rise in solitude against the sky. They are not merely blocks of stone, but enduring monuments shaped by time, standing in quiet contrast to humanity's brief presence. Welcome to the mysterious mountains, where each peak holds stories of still undiscovered worlds. Here, the boundaries of space and scale begin to dissolve, creating the sense that eternity is almost within reach. Silence in these places is never empty. It carries the weight of millennia, shaped by wind, moving through rock and ice. Majestic and imposing, these landscapes are as awe-inspiring as they are unsettling. Black Hills, USA. For the indigenous Lakota Sioux people, the Black Hills are not a place to conquer or tourist. The Lakota people believe this is where the spirits of their ancestors reside. The act of people entering certain areas without spiritual preparation is considered risky, even offensive to the deities. Seen from afar, the dense pine forests covering the mountains create a gloomy dark color, which is why it's called Black Hills. Its mystery began in the 19th century, when miners flocked in and a series of stories of misfortune began to emerge. The mysterious disappearances and sudden deaths of greedy individuals have woven together the curse of the Black Hills. Ayers, Rock, Australia. Officially known as Uluru, it is a massive, sacred, monolithic sandstone rock formation in Australia's Red Centre. It is famous for its spectacular colour changes at sunrise and sunset. A key feature in the Uluru Kata Tjuta National Park, it holds deep significance for the indigenous Anangu people. With caves containing ancient art offering spiritual insights and unique geological wonders. It is a sacred place for the Anangu people. A site associated with ancient creation stories and rock carving art. Composed of arcosic sandstone containing a high proportion of feldspar, the rock changes color depending on the sun's position. Superstition Mountains, USA. This is not just a geological formation, it is a dead land teeming with curses. Famous for its most famous story, which led thousands to risk their lives, is Jacob Waltz's gold mine, Unreal Places. He discovered an enormous open-pit gold mine in the 19th century, but he took the secret of its location to his grave in 1891. Since then, countless treasure hunters have ventured into the mountains and never returned. Survivors often recount being stalked by shadowy figures or hearing strange noises emanating from the cliffs. For the indigenous Apache people, they believe there is an entrance to hell located somewhere in the deep caves. Shiprock, USA. Located within the Navajo reservation established in 1903, it served as the tribal administrative center. The town takes its name from Shiprock, a volcanic rock located 16 kilometers to the southwest. This rock rises 420 meters above the desert and plays a prominent role in Navajo mythology. This rock rises 420 meters above the desert and plays a prominent role in Navajo mythology. It is the remnant of a violent volcanic eruption that occurred approximately 30 million years ago. Composed of an unusual high potassium magma called minette, formed by the melting of the Earth's mantle. It was formed at a depth of 750 to 1,000 meters below ground and is now eroded by the surrounding rocks. Mount Ararat, Turkey. The biggest reason Ararat is so mysterious is the story of Noah's Ark. According to the Bible, after the great flood swept across the world, Noah's Ark landed on this mountain. For decades, satellite and aerial imagery has captured a strange structure on the northwestern slope. It looks exactly like the shape of a fossilized ship buried under permafrost. The reality is that very few people can and are allowed to freely access the highest peak, and that is the unreal places. The hidden danger of glacier cracks is always lurking, ready to swallow up those who are careless. Emei Mountain, Sichuan. Located in Sichuan, China, it is one of the 4 great Buddhist mountains of China. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is renowned for its stunning natural beauty, biodiversity, ancient Buddhist temples. Famous for the Bodhisattva Samantabhadra, it offers spiritual journeys, challenging mountain climbs, and unique phenomena. A sacred place for Buddhism, it is believed to be the site where Buddhism first took root in China. Known as the Kingdom of Plants and Paradise of Animals, this place boasts diverse climates and ancient forests. You can get to Chengdu by train or take a cable car to higher areas like the Golden Peak. Macdhui, Scotland. Located in Scotland's Cairngorms mountain range, this peak rises to 1,309 meters. Geologically, it presents a challenge for climbers due to the dense fog that can descend at any time. This very environment is the perfect stage for near-death experiences and unexplained phenomena. The story began to cause a sensation in 1925 when Professor Norman Colley recounted it at a meeting of the Mountaineering Club. with the heavy footsteps following him through the fog. Even though there wasn't a soul around, it felt like unreal places. Mount Popa, Myanmar. The Popa Hill is an extinct volcano located in central Myanmar at the northernmost point of the Pegu mountain range. It is 1,518 meters high, has a 1-mile wide crater, and is at the summit there is a Buddhist temple that can be reached by climbing 777 steps. Mount Agung, Indonesia. In Bali in Indonesia, it's not just a towering rock, it's the embodiment of divine power, awe, and fervent faith. Locals believe that the gods reside at the highest peak, so every temple in Bali is built facing Mount Agung. This place is so sacred that there are strict rules that visitors must follow, which is why it is called the Unreal Place. The mystery here comes from the intersection between the real world and the mystical spiritual world. The most intriguing story about it is linked to the devastating eruption in 1963, when people were preparing for the Ekadasa Rudra festival. Even though the volcano began to shake, the monks still believed the festival had to go on. Mount Shasta, USA. Located 124 kilometers north of Reading, is an inactive volcano with 2 majestic peaks. The last recorded eruption occurred in 1786. The area remains tectonically active and earthquakes are relatively frequent. Mount Shasta has vents and several glaciers that supply water to the McLeod-Sacramento and Shasta rivers and its slopes. This area was discovered by Peter Skeen Ogden, who named the mountain in 1827 after the local Shasta Indians. Ed Pierce made the first ascent in 1854. A highway was built up the slopes to an altitude of 2,400 meters. The communities of Weed McLeod and Mount Shasta are located on a large alluvial plain in the southwestern foothills. Mount Fuji, Japan. In fact, Mount Fuji is one of the most climbed mountains in the world. However, there are hidden spiritual corners and forbidden areas that ordinary people rarely venture into. At the foot of Mount Fuji lies the Aokigahara forest, a place that even the bravest would fear. Legends circulate about restless spirits wandering the forest. The suffocating silence of this forest creates tremendous psychological pressure, making it one of the most eerie destinations on the planet. Blanca Peak, USA. Rising more than 6,000 feet above the bottom of the San Luis Valley, it boasts some of the most spectacular mountain scenery in Colorado. These peaks and the Lake Como Basin are popular recreational destinations for hikers and climbers. Ranked as the fourth highest peak in Colorado, it has become a highly coveted mountain to conquer. This mountain is considered the eastern boundary of Dunita, the traditional homeland of the Navajo people. It is associated with the color white and is said to be bathed in daylight and sunrise light and anchored to the ground by lightning. Devil's Tower, USA. It is composed of perfectly aligned, polygonal basalt columns that form unreal places. Scientists believe this is the result of a magma intrusion that occurred approximately 50 million years ago. The real reason many people hesitate to set foot here lies in the beliefs of the local people. Legends of the Kiowa and Sioux tribes tell of 7 young girls being chased by a giant bear. They climbed a small rock and prayed to their guardian spirit. Suddenly, the rock soared high into the sky. The enraged bear clawed at the rock face, creating the deep grooves we see today. Mont Ventoux, France. Mont Ventoux is the highest mountain in Provence, and its isolation from other mountains of similar size is due to its location. It is a mountain range running east-west, located about 20 kilometers north of the Carpentras, in the Vaucluse region. Mont Ventoux is accessible by road and offers spectacular views of Provence and the Rhône Valley. The best views are usually in the early morning or at sunset, when the fog from the daytime heat has dissipated. The mistral winds blow particularly strongly on this mountain, gusting to over 80 kilometers per hour for 200 days each year. Croagh Patrick Island. It is where its mystery stems from its spiritual aspect and the severe challenges it poses to human faith. The most famous story associated with this mountain peak is that of St. Patrick's pilgrimage in 441 AD. Legend has it that the saint fasted for 40 days and nights on the mountaintop. There, he was attacked by hordes of evil spirits in the form of black birds. To drive them away, he rang his silver bell and repelled all the snakes from Ireland. Above all, what makes Croagh Patrick so intimidating and unusual is its tradition of climbing barefoot. Adams Peak, Sri Lanka. It is a mountain in southwestern Sri Lanka, 2,304 meters high, located near Ratnapura, the capital of Sabaragamuwa province. The area surrounding Adams Peak is a tropical rainforest and includes the Peak Wilderness Sanctuary Wildlife Sanctuary. This mountain is revered by the indigenous people of Sri Lanka, who call it Samanalakanda. Hindus call the mountain Sivan Adipadam, as they believe the god Shiva left a giant footprint on its summit. Buddhist tradition, as recorded in the Mahavamsa, suggests that these footprints were left by the Buddha during his visit to Sri Lanka. Some Christians who came to Sri Lanka in the 16th century believed those were the footprints of St. Thomas. Mount Kailash, Tibet, in the world of mountaineering. There's a rule that the highest mountain is meant to be conquered, but Kailash is meant to be worshipped. And it is one of the few peaks in the world that has never been reached by human footsteps. What amazes scientists and spiritualists alike is that Kailash has 4 nearly perfectly symmetrical faces in 4 different directions. It is said that anyone near the Kailash mountain area will have their hair and nails grow rapidly within just 12 hours. Unlike Everest, Kailash is off-limits for climbing due to both religious beliefs and alleged paranormal phenomena. Mount Nyangani, Zimbabwe. The highest peak in Zimbabwe is located within Nyanga National Park. This place is famous for its stunning landscapes of wilderness and forests, and for its legends and unexplained disappearances. With the mountain that swallows man, a vast, rocky plateau with gently sloping hills, meadows, and forests on its slopes. It is believed to be the dwelling place of powerful and vengeful spirits, leading to fears of danger or getting lost. To avoid angering the spirits, tourists are often warned by locals and guides not to mock the mountain or point at landmarks. Mount Kinabalu, Malaysia. This is not only the highest mountain in Southeast Asia, reaching 4,095 meters. It is also a sacred place full of spiritual legends that require even the bravest mountaineers to maintain a special attitude. The name Kinabalu comes from the word Kinabalu, meaning sacred resting place of the dead. Local people believe that their ancestors after death reside on this mountaintop. Therefore, Kinabalu is not merely a tourist destination, but a sacred temple. Mount Belukha, Russia. This is the highest peak of the Altai Mountains and the highest mountain in Siberia, with an elevation of 4,506 meters. Located in the Altai Republic of Russia, it lies near the intersection of the borders of Russia, Kazakhstan, China, and Mongolia. This area is home to numerous glaciers, with approximately 169 glaciers, covering an area of about 150 square kilometers. This is a central feature of the Altai Golden Mountains, a UNESCO World Heritage Site recognized for its unique biodiversity. Associated with the mystical land of Shambhala and the central theme of the works of philosopher and painter Nicholas Roerich. Most expeditions begin from the village of Tiange, which is accessible via the Gorno-Altaisk Road. The remoteness of the peak, combined with harsh weather and steep sections, requires prior mountaineering experience. Lapchi Kang, Tibet. Located on the border between Tibet and Nepal, Lapchi Kang is often overshadowed by its colossal neighbor, Everest. However, among practitioners and those who study occultism, this is where true power resides. The biggest reason Lapchi Kang is so mysterious is that it is one of the three most important sacred mountains in Tibet. This is where the great master Milarepa, the most famous poet saint of Tibet, spent many years in seclusion in icy caves. It is said that he fought and subdued local gods to protect Buddhism, and the footprints and handprints are believed to be his own. Eiger, Nordwand, Switzerland. The majestic north face of the Eiger, nearly 1,800 meters high in the Swiss Alps. Famous as one of the world's most challenging and dangerous mountaineering routes, attracting top climbers. This is a legendary landmark in the Alps known as the Wall of Walls, demanding exceptional skill for its challenging trails. This cliff was one of the last major unconquered climbing challenges in the 1930s. During a mountaineering attempt in 1935, Max Sedlmayr and Karl Mehringer were killed. Early attempts often ended in tragedy. Over 60 climbers lost their lives on the north face. Cerro Torre, Argentina. If you had to choose one mountain with the most intimidating appearance, Cerro Torre would definitely be at the top of the list. At 3,128 meters, it's not as tall as Everest, but its difficulty level is on a completely different level. Cerro Torre resembles a giant granite finger piercing the sky. Its four sides are sheer, smooth cliffs. The most terrifying thing is the snow mushroom, huge, porous, and extremely fragile blocks of ice. Cerro Torre is famous for its storms, with winds that sweep everything away, and the weather changes by the minute. A clear blue sky can turn into a raging hurricane in an instant, deterring even the most experienced climbers. Ausangate, Peru. Known as the father of all mountains, Ausangate is believed to be the protector of the Cusco region and its water source. A high-altitude adventure trail, typically lasting 4 to 6 days, reaches altitudes above 5,000 meters. It's known for being less crowded than the Salcante or Inca trails. The area boasts 7 Ausangate lakes, numerous turquoise glacial lagoons, and is situated near the famous Vinicunca Mountain. Hikers frequently encounter herds of alpacas and llamas, as well as other wildlife such as vicuñas, vultures, and vizcacha. Considered a strenuous trek due to the constant movement at high altitudes, proper acclimatization in Cusco is essential. Most hikes start from the villages of Upis or Tinki, about a 3.5-hour drive from Cusco. Mount Taranaki, New Zealand. If you look at it from a satellite, Mount Taranaki has an almost perfectly symmetrical conical shape. It's so perfect that it's often mistaken for Japan's Mount Fuji, as if it was something more strategically placed than random. Legend says that Taranaki once lived in the center of the North Island, along with other mountains such as Tongariro and Ruapehu. Taranaki fell in love with Mount Pihanga, a beautiful female mountain, who was Tongariro's wife. The mountain gods fought fiercely, but Taranaki was defeated. He was banished westward and carved a deep trench into the ground. Today, Taranaki stands alone, gazing towards his old friends. It is said that when clouds cover the mountaintop, it is Taranaki, weeping for his lost love. Mount Nebo Jordan. It is most famous for being the place where Moses looked down upon the Holy Land and for the shrine and monastery built in his honor. It holds immense significance in Christian and Jewish tradition. This is where Moses saw the Promised Land before his death and was buried nearby. This site, also known as Pisgah, is located at an altitude of approximately 710 meters above sea level. A modern structure built to preserve the remains of a 4th century Byzantine basilica. The large curved cross sculpture by Italian artist Giovanni Fantoni symbolizes the bronze serpent created by Moses. Huashan Mountain, Shanxi, globally renowned, as the world's most dangerous mountain, where worship and death are separated by only a few centimeters. The greatest mystery of Mount Hua lies in the long sky path. These are narrow wooden planks, only about 30 centimeters wide, nailed directly into the sheer cliff face at an altitude of over 2,000 meters. Taoist practitioners believe that facing imminent death is the quickest way to temper one's character and find enlightenment. There are no barriers, no sturdy handrails, even though visitors are now required to wear seat belts. Mount Hua is not just a geographical location, it is a test of spirit. For many, coming here isn't about sightseeing, but about proving that they've surpassed themselves in the face of nature's abyss. Maiji Mountain, Gansu. Located in Tianshui, Gansu Province. It is a 5A-rated national tourist attraction famous for the Magician Cave Complex. Known as the Museum of Oriental Sculpture, this site displays over 10,000 exquisite clay and stone sculptures and murals. The main attraction consists of 221 caves built into the cliff face, connected by a series of narrow wooden walkways. The name Maijishan, meaning Wheat Mountain, comes from the mountain's distinctive shape. Inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 2014 as part of the Silk Road Network. This scenic area is part of a national forest park and geopark, notable for its lush green mountains and diverse flora and fauna. Mashapuchara, Nepal. In the world of mountaineering, Mount Everest is the ultimate goal, but Mashapuchara is a place of worship. Local people believe the summit is the dwelling place of the god Shiva. Setting foot on the summit is considered a grave offense against the sacred, potentially bringing misfortune to the entire region. The most dramatic story about Mashapuchara is linked to the British expedition led by Wilfred Noyce in 1957. However, after that trip, strange rumors and incidents occurred, causing no expedition to dare return. Some say that the gods are displeased even when they only get close. Kumbila, Nepal. Famous as a sacred mountain, in the Khumbu region of eastern Nepal, it rises to 5,761 meters. It lies within Sagarmatha National Park, overlooking the villages of Kumjung and Kunda. The name translates to God Khumbu, and the mountain is considered the dwelling place of the local Sherpa deity. As of 2026, Kumbila remains unconquered, and climbing is prohibited by law due to its religious sanctity. Only one known attempt has been made in the 1980s, ending tragically in an avalanche. Yan Dong Mountain Zhejiang. It's a popular tourist destination, but its true soul lies in its towering peaks, bottomless caves, and hidden corners. Unlike ordinary mountains, it is an entity formed by volcanic eruptions hundreds of millions of years ago. The cliffs rise steeply at 90 degrees smooth, as if sculpted by meteorites. There are sharp peaks soaring through the mist, which locals believe are places separated from the world. This complex terrain makes reaching the summit of some of the individual mountains nearly impossible without specialized equipment. This is where the mysterious reputation of Linfeng comes from. People say it has a daytime appearance and a nighttime soul. Lufu Mountain, Guangdong. As a nationally ranked 5A tourist destination, the National Forest Park and Sacred Taoist Mountain are located in Bolei County. It is known as the first mountain in Lingnan, thanks to its majestic scenery, rich history, and numerous natural attractions. This mountain is famous for its evergreen vegetation, ancient forests, and numerous water sources. Visitors can hike along various trails to enjoy the majestic views from peaks such as Feiyun Peak. There is also a cable car available for those who prefer a gentler hike, offering stunning vistas. Dangxia Mountain, Guangdong. Although it is a popular tourist destination, its mystery doesn't lie in the fact that people can't get there. It lies in its bizarre forms that defy all conventional explanations and the spiritual legends surrounding it. The name Dangxia is associated with two of its most famous rock formations, Yangyuan Stone and Yinyuan Stone. On one side stands a towering rock column symbolizing masculine vitality, while on the other is a cave shaped like a woman. What astonished scientists was that these two rock formations were located symmetrically in the same mountain range. Many locals believe this is the origin of life and that setting foot on these rocks could disturb the Earth's energy lines.